Idaho announced Thomas Ford as the new Vandals football coach back in December. He is here now for an official Big Sky introduction. Coach, you were in Moscow a couple years ago. How does it feel to be back as the head coach?
Oh man, I mean the feeling of being back in Moscow is just incredible. This is an awesome community. My family and I loved it here when I was here as an assistant coach with Coach Ack, and the support that I've been shown from our fan base, our donors, and most importantly our players has been incredible. So it's awesome to be back in Moscow.
Your connections to Idaho run deep beyond just those 2 years as a running backs coach. You went to football camps there. You ran indoor track in the Kibbe Dome. You watched your brother play for the Vandals. What makes Moscow so special?
I think the number one thing that I think makes Moscow special is the people. The relationships that I was able to build here during my time as an assistant are incredible, and just the carryover from coming back has just been just really fun to see. So obviously the people, that's the number one thing. I think the people here in Moscow at the University of Idaho really make this place special.
During your first stint at Idaho, your special teams and running back units were some of the best in the FCS. How do you replicate that this season as head coach?
Well, I think it's just like I tell my staff. I want all of my guys in our building to be the head coach of their room, and that's really how I took that here as an assistant. I want to be the head coach of the running back room, and obviously the special teams coordinator. You're in charge of a bunch of people, and so I approach it the same, right? You've got to go into every day with a positive attitude. You've got to go into every day with a service first attitude, and then be willing to put in the work on a daily basis. And I think when you're showing people how much you care about them, and you do that through your work ethic, it permeates throughout the building. And so I really want to just show these guys that I'm in it with them. This is not a situation where, hey, I'm the head football coach removed from the program. I'm in it with them. I'm in the trenches with them every step of the way. And I'll continue to do that here as the head coach.
When you were named head coach of Idaho a couple months ago, you said you were going to be aggressive in everything you do, especially in recruiting. What excites you the most about the 33 new guys you're bringing in this year?
Oh gosh, I think that they chose Idaho for the right reasons. I think a lot of these guys that we brought in are like-minded guys. They truly love football, and I don't mean the playing on Saturday. Everybody loves that, but the process, right? You're going to train 300 days a year to play 12 guaranteed opportunities. And when we went through the vetting process of this recruiting class, that was something that was very consistent. And I think when you bring in a bunch of guys that are like-minded into a program that's like-minded, you can have a lot of success because they come in kind of with that predisposed notion of what it's going to be. And when they show up and our older players show them that that's actually what it is, it's pretty easy for them to assimilate into the culture.
People have praised your recruiting abilities. Why do you think you are such an effective recruiter?
I think there's two things that help me stand out in recruiting. Number one is I'm a true relationship builder. I want to get to know these guys. I talked to one of our recruits the other night, and I said, part of this process is I'm recruiting you to become a part of my family. And so when you become a part of that family, I want to know what I'm getting. I want to know what I'm getting. And so I think building those authentic relationships are critical. And then the second thing that I really believe that kind of sets us apart is we trust our process, and we're very honest and upfront with recruits. There isn't going to be a lot of fluff in our recruiting process, and they know that we're going to tell them the truth. I'm not big into offering a bunch of guys that we aren't willing to take. If we offer a guy a scholarship opportunity, then we want them. And I think that transparency really resonates with the prospective student athletes and their families.
One of the other priorities was your staff, especially a strength coach. You hired Jamel Cooper. What has he brought to Moscow and the program in the short time he's been there?
Man, Coach Cooper is like a cheat code for us. The number one thing for Coach Cooper is his ability to communicate. He's a very, very good communicator, because in football, you're going to do a lot of really hard things. And in the generation of players that we have now, they want to know why, right? They're educated guys, and so they want to know why. And Coach Cooper's been excellent in communicating the why. And then the second thing that I think really stands out about Coach Cooper is he believes in our process. He believes in our philosophy. So it's easy for him to spread that message on a daily basis. We were out on the road as a staff for 2 weeks in January, and Coach Cooper was the head coach during that time. And, so his ability to communicate our message, communicate our standard, and really believe in our process has been critical for us this winter off season.
Spring practice starts this week. What are you most looking forward to about getting back out on the field?
I'm going to start with what I'm least looking forward to. I'm least looking forward to not having a position group. That those indie periods are going to be lonely periods for Coach Ford. I'm going to be like a nomad roaming around trying to get my football fixed. But on a more serious note, I think I'm just really looking forward to seeing the work these guys have put in all winter come into fruition. They've been busting their butts in the weight room. They've been getting extra meetings with their coaches, learning some of the nuance of the offense that we're, it's going to be similar, but some of the nuance that we're changing. We have a whole new defense, whole new special teams scheme. So just seeing the work they've been putting in come to fruition on the field is probably what I'm most looking forward to.